In this episode, you'll see monster battles in the game world. Yui meets a new stranger who is clearly hiding something. She's good with weapons and survival skills, but is she who she says she is? Can she be trusted or expect to be stabbed in the back? Magic is the epitome of imagination. But without magical energy, magic won't work. Yuya decided to try something new and imagined a forest. Using magic, he was able to transport himself to the place he imagined. This is very empowering for him in this world. Yuya and Night once again found themselves in a dark cave, lit only by a magical green fire. At the end of the cave they encountered the seemingly frightening goblins. But with the help of his powers and Night, Yuya quickly defeated them. After defeating such simple monsters, they received a great reward. There was really a lot of stuff in there. This loot would definitely come in handy in later game development. In addition, Yuya noticed an interesting point. He and the doggy began to understand each other better, and as a consequence their fighting skills improved. Well, it's time to go out of the game into real life. There is still a campaign to be made. Having heard this news, Night was upset and ran away from the master, somewhere in the thick of the forest. It turns out that the reason for such strange behavior in the pet was not a grudge against his friend, but something else. Something that hides deep in the woods. What will you choose? Ignore, go to school or work. Like and subscribe to watch anime all day. The beast was wary, and that was a sign to Yui that he had better hide somewhere from the open ground. The boy quickly turned on camouflage mode and blended in with the outside world. Strange noises were heard coming from the forest. From behind the bushes where the partners were hiding, they saw the girls surrounded by goblins. Not only was she wounded, her strength was clearly running low, and things were bad. Yui couldn't just stand by and watch what was happening. He had to help her, but for some reason Night stopped him. Suddenly there was a ferocious growl. It was a big goblin growling. It knocked the tree down with its cudgel. The club was also made of wood, ungrateful. The monster was confident in his strength, but suddenly something cut off his hand. It was the girl's weapon. The boy didn't have time to notice and didn't understand how she managed to do it. This made the monsters even angrier, and they attacked with more ferocity. But they failed to penetrate the girl's defenses. Her weapon was some kind of thread, but it was as strong as steel and as sharp as a shuriken. Despite this, one of the goblins still managed to seize the moment and strike. To make matters worse, the girl was also wounded, so she couldn't regenerate quickly. When the goblin was ready to kill her, Yui jumped on top of him with his sword. He was able to kill the monster with a single swing. Night couldn't stay away either. He rushed to his friend's aid. So, thanks to good teamwork and agility, the boys were able to defeat all the assailants. Before they could breathe out, they were surrounded by a new horde of goblins. There were a huge number of them. They were just everywhere. Then, Yui tried his whip in action, which did its job perfectly. And so, once again, the guy rescued some stranger. He had to take her back to the house, but Night was against it. I wonder why. To make the girl heal faster, Yui gave her the healing panacea juice. Immediately all the pain and wounds were erased from her body. The boys got to know each other quickly, except Night didn't like Luna at all. But what was she doing alone in the woods? The girl said she had gone to train and was surrounded by a horde of goblins. It was a good thing the boys got there in time. Luna was acting strangely, as if she wasn't saying something, but Yuya didn't notice. The girl was very sweaty and dirty after the battle. I wish I could find a river somewhere. Oop, that sounds like an excuse. Yuya had just recently beaten the bathroom out of one boss. Of course he offered to give his new friend a bath, separately of course. The water was on fire, so nice and warm, just right. While Luna was taking a bath, she and her boyfriend got to talking. During the conversation, Luna almost spilled her secret. She stopped just in time and suggested that Yuya train together. He agreed to it. The training was in full swing, and the girl was doing very well. Yui taught Luna a lot in a few days. They traveled through the forest together. He told her how things worked and helped her kill monsters. Together with their new friend, their team became much stronger. It was as if they could feel each other. As much fun as they were having in this world, the guy also had real reality with its own problems and challenges. So he needed to go back there. When Yuya went to take an evening bath, Luna climbed in with him. This really embarrassed the guy. The girl thanked her friend for helping her become stronger and teaching her everything she knows herself. It was a very valuable experience. The next day, Yui and her class went on a long-awaited camping trip. During the trip, they played cards, where the guy beat everyone. After the game, he decided to take a little nap, because the night games were making themselves felt. When they arrived at the place, Rin woke him up. The class arrived at some fancy building. A few minutes later they gathered in the auditorium to listen to the briefing. A day and 2 nights in the mountains was something. Of resources, the guys would have some rice and whatever was around them in nature. If there is an emergency, the children will be helped by the school doctor. She, of course, is strange, but she does her job skillfully. The children have to cook their own food, sleep and equip their own homes. In general, this is not a camping trip, and a real survival in the woods. Also, in addition, it is a competition between the class teachers, so students must give their all. Not everyone liked this idea, but there was nowhere to go, so all resigned. We need to set up the tent first, except no one knows how to do anything. Rin suggested splitting up, so it would be quicker to get things done. Yui and Kita would go fishing, and she and Akira would go mushroom picking. There were already a lot of other students who had come to the river for the same purpose as Yui and Kita. Yui didn't want to leave for camp without any catch. With his keen eye he found a secluded spot that no one had noticed before. Great, maybe there would be a catch there. And it was true that the water was crystal clear with big fish swimming in it. But would it be possible to catch a fish with a rod in the shallow water? Probably not. Then Yuya bent his pants and went fishing by hand. Looking into the water, he realized that they weren't that fast. Certainly not faster than the monsters in the forests of the game world. He should take Luna's advice. She advised him to read the actions of the monsters, because they are just like living creatures, so it's not difficult and then you can kill them more easily. It's the same with the fish, you only need to anticipate its movements. A couple of actions and the fishing went great. The people around were in awe. At the end, the guy managed to collect even more than he bargained for. That was definitely enough for everyone. Luna noticed that her strings were getting sharper. Turns out the girl was a secret guild assassin for hire. For her perfect task performance and lethality, the girl was nicknamed a bounty hunter. This time she was hired to kill Yui.